Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome once again to TDT Financial. We're so excited and so grateful for having you spend another moment with us to get the information that I can promise you is really going to advance your life. Of course, our question to you is, do you have a dream? Do you have a goal? Do you have a plan? And would you like to see one? So first of all, you've taken the first step. You've taken the initiative to see what this whole thing is all about. What is this whole buzz all about? So what we wanted to gift you with was results to residual. This is a working, if you will, over the last few years of our success, of our path, of our journey, of the 5 steps that's really created success and fulfillment in our lives. And as our silent mentor would say, Tony Robbins, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So if you're not creating a residual income through what you do, if you're not making money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So we're going to show you how to do that. So without further ado, I want to introduce myself. Of course, Damon Dillard. I am the co-founder of TDT, and this is my incredible business partner,
Mike Benoit.
Mr. Money Mike. All right, this is Money Mike to you. So without further ado, we want to hop right into it. The 5 steps. If you're not taking notes, make sure you do so right now. The 5 steps to success and fulfillment. What's number 1, Mike?
Habits. Habits are key. I have learned this through trial and error. I remember, when I first got started as an entrepreneur, thinking that all these blessings, all this abundance was just going to flow like an avalanche into my life, and I didn't have to change a thing. I could remain exactly the same, and I was very wrong. I was very wrong because I didn't realize that your habits are basically a magnet, right? It's you're attracting certain things into your life based on your habits. Some people think that diabetes runs in your family. When it doesn't, you actually have a habit of eating bad food, and you learn this from somebody, you pick this up from somebody. Everything that you know, believe it or not, you have learned that from somebody. Even your name, you learn that from somebody. So, when it comes to a habit, a lot of times I didn't realize that, early on in my journey, my habits were dictated based off my associations, the people that I was hanging around, the people that I was modeling myself after. And I learned that you should never take advice from somebody that you would not trade places with. But that's exactly what I was doing subconsciously. I was taking advice from people that I didn't want to trade places with, yet I was doing the exact same thing that they were doing. And habits, after a while, they can be very hard to break. And so the first thing I had to do was accept and be aware of the habits that I had created and where they had led me in my life. The next thing I needed to do was model someone who actually had the results that I wanted in my life, and I had to adopt those habits. And so can you tell us a story of how this has transitioned in your life and how this has been major for you?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that really sticks out to me about what you said is modeling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You and I share the same mentor. Now he's a good friend of ours, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But modeling, Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. Anything that you want to accomplish in your life, it's actually really simple. There's nothing new under the sun. So the first thing you must do, as you said, is become aware of where the habits that you have currently have led you in your life. Listen, your life is going to be the sum total of the habits that you have on a daily basis. You want to figure out what type of habits you've had? Not looking to step on your toes too much, but take a look at your bank account. And the reason why I say your bank account is because that's the easiest way to recognize right now, numerically, okay, how have my habits been serving me? What type of discipline have I been applying into my life? What have I been using, again, to create wealth? So when I look at modeling, when I look at the gentleman that we both look up to, I'll never forget meeting him about 4 years ago, and I knew at that time I was pretty lost. I wasn't really sure up from down, left from right. I didn't know the direction of my life. I didn't have any dreams, any goals, any ambitions. I knew I wanted to make a lot of money, but I didn't even know where to start. And one quote that we both love is, if you can find out what's in a man's head, you can have exactly what's in his hand. And I said, you know what? I'm not super passionate about what you're selling right now, right? Hey, you're extremely charismatic. You're a great guy. You're selling the crap out of this thing. You're humorous. You're awesome. But I know I'm not passionate about this product. However, it's not what you're selling that's creating your success. It's the way you're thinking. right? That's what I figured out very quickly. And I asked him about his habits. I asked him about his morning routine. I asked him about his personal development routine. What is he reading? What is he listening to? I asked him about his treatment of people. I asked him how he feels about himself. You know, these are all different indicators of habit that lead to different results. I can guarantee you right now, the way you wake up and the way Oprah wakes up is two totally different things. I think one of my favorite quotes is, the billionaire and the beggar both have the same 24 hours. So if you can find out the habits of a billionaire and simply model and copy that, you're going to reach success pretty quickly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, when it comes to habits, and there's a few that I want to point out that I think are extremely important. Number one, you need to have a pleasing personality. As an entrepreneur, you're going to be leading people, and it's very, very important that you're able to work successfully and navigate successfully with different personalities. And so I think what's really important is for you to know what your personality type is, and then also understand that there's other personality types that you're going to be dealing with. So for example, some people train this under different names. I like to think of it in colors. So you have reds, you have blues, you have yellows, and you have greens. So reds are someone who are very competitive, very direct. They are purpose-driven. They are constantly thinking about goals, talking about goals, tend to be very focused. They like money, A blue is someone who tends to be more of a promoter. They are the life of the party. When they come in, morale increases just because of their presence. They love to have fun. They love to have or travel, things of that nature. Then you have your yellows, and your yellows are very cause-driven. These are your people who, constantly are looking for ways to help people. They love helping people. And then you have your analytical people, your greens. So they're very analytical, very logical. They need to have things laid out on a step-by-step basis, tend to be very timely. They're dependable people. And so you have to learn, okay, well, first off, what am I? And we're all a mixture of all these colors, but what's my dominant color? And so for me, my dominant color is a red. And so, when you bring up income potential, that excites me. When we talk about goals, that excites me. When you get straight to the point, I'm very lasered. That's good for me. But what's good for me is not necessarily always good for someone else. And so if I'm constantly speaking to someone else, so let's say Damon is a yellow, right? And so, I'm working with him, and I'm telling him, man, Damon, you got to check out this opportunity, man. It's amazing. You can make so much money, man. And he's a yellow, so he's very cause-driven. So guess what he's going to be thinking? He's going to be thinking, man, you are going to HE double hockey stick with all that money. Who are you helping? Who cares about the money? And so you have to learn about different personality types and what drives people. And so I think that that's a habit that has to be developed. Are there any 100%. Other habits you can think of that are very, very important?
Yeah, but we're going to save that for him.
Okay.
We're going to save that for him. We're going to save that for him. Thinking. We're going to talk about that a lot, but thinking is definitely the largest habit, in my opinion.
Yes.
Number two, if you guys are writing that down, number one is habits. Number two is associations. Do you want to kick that off?
Associations. Yeah, man. I think it sounds kind of cliche, but it's true. You're the results of the 5 most people that you hang around. Show me your friends, I will show you your future. And, I didn't really realize how important this was, but it was very sobering when I finally realized this. The best example I can give you, I remember in high school, when I graduated high school, everybody was super, super excited about going to college. I mean, they were jacked out of their mind, excited, couldn't wait to get there because life was going to be completely different once they got that degree and that good job. And I was a little bit different. I was not excited, because and here's why. I started looking around. Okay, I started looking around, and I'm looking at all these people, and I'm talking about, people that are my family. I'm talking about my teachers, my peers. I'm looking at all these people, and I'm saying, they went down this path. You know, they took all these ingredients that are being given to me, right? And it didn't lead to the results that I'm looking to have in my life. And don't get me wrong, these people had nice homes, had 2 cars, right? Had the white picket fence, had 2.5 kids, right? They had the American dream, quote unquote. But it wasn't what I wanted, though. I wanted abundance. I wanted options. I wanted exotic cars. I wanted homes in multiple cities. I wanted to be able to give away 6 figures and 7 figures. I wanted to be able to do some outrageous things. And I didn't see anybody around me that was able to do those things. And so, one thing I learned really early is that you should never take advice from somebody that you wouldn't trade places with, So here I am being spoon-fed, go to school, get good grades, you can get a good job, but yet and still this recipe is not leading to the results that I was looking to have in my life. And so what I had to do is I had to start associating with some different people. I had to start associating with people who actually had the results that I wanted. And it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. I remember going to lunch one time with a gentleman who I greatly admire, even still to this day, because of the impact that he's had on the world. And this gentleman at the time, he was making over 7 figures a month just through one stream of income. So he has multiple streams of income, but just through one stream, he was earning 7 figures per month. And I remember sitting there with him, and he had on this watch. It had just came in that day, and I could not stop staring at this watch. I mean, this was amazing. I still have yet to see anything like it to this day. It had diamonds everywhere. It was gold and carbon fiber, and I didn't even know they put carbon fiber on watches.
Right.
And so I'm looking at this watch, and he's like, Mike, you like this thing? And I'm like, yeah, I like that thing, man. He's like, yeah, it just came in today, and I paid $108 for it. I'm like, skirt. Wait.
Right.
You paid $108,000 for a watch? And he was like, yeah, I paid cash for it, and it's just my casual watch. It's just a watch I wear when I really don't want to attract attention. And it blew my mind, but guess what it did? It expanded things for me. It let me know that more is available. But you have to put yourself in those situations, in those environments, and start associating with different people. Absolutely. What do you think?
That's strong. Yeah, associations are everything. My mom's quote that she used to say to me all the time is, bad associations spoil useful habits. And I used to hate that because it kept me from doing a lot of the things that I thought as a kid I should be able to do. However, now looking back on it, the couple of quotes that you mentioned, you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with, the average. That's so fitting. I heard another person say that at the end of the day, your environment is going to be way more powerful than your willpower. So no matter how much you really want to become successful, no matter how much you truly want to change your life, if you're putting yourself around the wrong associations, if you're putting yourself in the wrong environment that doesn't breed the type of success that you're looking to have, unfortunately, you're going to end up in the same place. I love how you say it sometimes that you can only lift somebody up once you're higher than them.
Yeah.
So if you're only spending your time with people that have your same bank account, have your same thoughts, have your same idea, have your same job, well, what do you think your life will be a year from now? If you want your life to truly, truly improve, change 2 things: the books you read and the people you hang around. And that's not to say that you have to completely banish these people out of your life, but I know when I started my journey of personal development and my journey of entrepreneurship, I had a lot of friends that almost looked at me like I was crazy. Like, man, you're changing up on us. You don't come around anymore. You don't go to the bars anymore. We don't talk anymore. But now they're proud of me. Now they're in business with me. Now they say, hey, I totally understand where you're coming from. Not because I didn't love them, but I loved them enough to let them go for a season. I understood, hey, the vision is way bigger than my immediate gratification of going out to party or going out to kick it. It's huge. It's
Absolutely.
huge.
Absolutely.
Let me see something real quick. All right, cool. Wet that part out. I don't know what happened here.
You just leave that. Yeah, you might as well just leave it up because it's going to pop up again.
All right, cool. Where we at?
So the next one is thoughts.
We're at 14 minutes right now.
How long do we want this to be?
Not much longer. Maybe at the longest 30 minutes.
Okay. So thoughts. Okay.
All right. So the next habit that we want to cover are thoughts.
Hold on. I was all like messing around. All right.
You ready? So the next habit that we want to cover are thoughts. What you got for thoughts?
Thoughts. Man, I mean, I don't want to go too deep on this subject, but we really could. I mean, because it's such a domino effect from your thoughts. Like, it's all connected. And the thing I like to tell people is that the first thing it starts with is your programming. So to give you an example, imagine you're typing something, you're printing something off on the computer, and you print it off, you get it, take a look at it, you notice that there's an error on there. And here's what most people do in life. Most people look at the error, they white it out, they go back to the computer, and they print it again. And they get the same result, and they say, okay, that whiteout didn't work. Maybe let me mark it out. They mark it out, they go back to the printer, they reprint it, the error is still there. And they do this over and over and over again. They do this 70 years and end up calling it a life, okay? So you're hearing this and you're probably saying, well, that's an easy fix. All you have to do is just go to the computer, correct the error there, and then you'll get a different result, right? And the same thing holds true in our life, right? But what you have to do is you have to address the source. You have to address the source. And the source is what Damon is bringing up right now, which is your thinking. Your thoughts have to change. So how do I change my thoughts? Well, first thing you must do is change your programming. Mm-hmm. Change your programming. And we're going to talk about that here shortly. It's so fitting. But you change your programming, you're going to change your thinking. If you change your thoughts, it's going to change the images in your mind. Right? You change these images or pictures in your mind, it's going to change the way that you feel. If you change the way that you feel, it changes your actions. And if you change your actions, it changes your results completely.
That's right. That's right. Man, I don't know what else I can say to that. But I will say this, right? You guys know I'm long-winded, but I want to keep it laser here. There's a scripture in the Word, Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth, that says, as a man believes in his heart, so is he. I believe that the heart represents your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is important when it comes to your thoughts because it literally controls your automated system, right? What I mean by that is your blood pumping right now, you hearing different sounds in the room, but only paying attention to my voice. That's all your subconscious mind. So if I want to affect how I believe, if I want to affect the results in my life, if I want to affect who I am, it has to start with what's going into my heart. With that said, it takes us into the next habit. All right, the next habit is education over entertainment. Education over entertainment. What you got on that?
Yeah. So, this was a hard one for me to change too when I first got started. Because if you would have hopped in my car, if you would have came to my home, it was just nothing but rap music. If you would have, scrolled on my computer, I probably was tuning into the latest, sports website or gossip website. I was interested in other people's lives. If you turned on the television, the same thing would happen. And, it's funny, when you look at the word television, that's exactly what they're doing. They're telling you a vision, And so my mentor, one of the first things he told me to do was go on a fast. He said, I want you to go on a complete fast where you don't listen to any music or watch any TV for 30 days. And it sounded like the most outrageous, like ridiculous thing ever. I was like, I can't live without cable.
Right.
I can't live without whoever I was listening to at the time. I can't live without these things. But what he was trying to get me to understand was that a couple things. Number one, when you're tuning into these things, you're contributing to their income. You're not contributing to yours. You're contributing to their future. You're not contributing to yours, you know? So, you know, I won't name any artists, but there's plenty of artists out there that are great. And I listen to them today. I love them. But guess what? When you're listening to them in your car, all you're doing is contributing to their income. No, I needed to change that. I needed to start contributing to my income. Because I was broke. That's what my bank account was screaming, broke. Yeah. I needed to shift some things. And so we're going to implore you to start educating yourself, personal development. And that's what I started doing. So I went on a fast and I was listening to Tony Robbins. I was listening to Jim Rohn. I was listening to Robert Kiyosaki. I was listening to people like David Imonitie. I was listening to great men, great women who actually had the results in their life. And so it was paradigm shifting for me. I mean, it shifted so many things in my life, but education is key.
It's funny that you would say paradigm shifting, because the very first thing that we talked about were habits, and a paradigm is in fact a multitude of habits. So when we're talking about this area of education over entertainment, this is so key. I mean, this is so important for you to really understand. And really the one thing that I think we changed that caused the biggest shift in our lives, understand that right now, everything that you have in your life is a result of conditioning. All right, that's it. So if you want to understand conditioning, conditioning is really everything that you've experienced since the moment you were born has created who you are. It's created the way you think about yourself, the way you view the world, the way you view relationships, the way you view money, everything. So a lot of people forget the influence that TV has on them, right? I love the acronym CNN, constant negative news, right? Mike tells a story about his father, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, what he used to say about his father is every time he went out of the house, his father would always say to him,
be safe, son.
Be safe, son, right? And he said it was crazy because the first time he was like, okay, all right, cool, I will. But every single time, hey, be safe, son. Be safe, son. Be safe, son. And then Mike recognized what his father was watching on TV all the time, which was something my parents were watching all the time, First 48, which is creating a narrative that the world is horrible. Well, I know you guys don't know where my guy lives right now, but if I look outside, listen, it is a beautiful thing, right? People walking on the sidewalks, people networking, they're navigating their way through life. They're looking to build new ideas and new companies. They're looking to have fun, and some people are having a little bit too much fun, but you see the world through the lens of possibly your parents, possibly the news, possibly whatever you're taking in. So when it comes to entertainment, you have to be conscientious of everything that you're taking in, right? I don't think you know the influence that music truly has on you. What's crazy is a song could come on from 95, right? If I start doing this, doom, 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 doom. Everybody knows that song, right? It's time to get on the dance floor, right? But do you remember the first book that you ever listened to? Do you remember the first publication that you ever went through that really added value to your life? No. And then you wonder why you're living check to check. And then you wonder why there's more month at the end of the money. Well, it's because we haven't really paid attention to the things that are going to advance us in our lives. And that's why we talk about education. Jim Rohn says it best, formal education will make you a living, but self-education is going to make you a fortune. So if you're really looking to go from results to residual, it's not going to be you continuing the same routine that you're talking about. So all the different things we're talking about are things that we're going to encourage you to change. At the end of the day, in order for things to change, you're going to have to change. And they're very, very small differences. Be entertained, but be entertained by the things that are going to add value to your life.
Absolutely.
Does that make
100%.
sense? What's the last thing we got?
So, one of the things that you're going to have to change as well is how you feel about money. And this is a very, very touchy subject. I know it is. And it was something that was really, really difficult for me as well. Was to change the way I even thought about money. You know, the idea of having a lot of it or wanting a lot of it. You know, conflicting feelings of if that was even right. You know, and a book that was huge for me. This was huge for me. Is a book called How Rich People Think. And it's so interesting because what the author does is he takes a topic, he gives you a topic, and then he shows you how the middle class think about that topic, and then he shows you how the world class think about that topic. And it is so interesting and powerful. Before you even read the book, if you just read the table of contents, because you can see every single chapter, you will be blown away. And I remember reading that book, and one of the things that he talked about was how, you know, the middle class is always taking something simple and making it complex, whereas the world class are taking something complex and making it simple. And as soon as I saw that, I said, man, he's absolutely right. I remember, and this is the biggest example for me, was the iPhone. I remember in 2007, you know, Steve Jobs debuting the iPhone. And this was amazing because this phone was gonna have no keyboard. It was just gonna be a screen. And I remember it was an absolute uproar. I mean, people, literally, I remember people around me saying, I'll never buy one of those things. It's so crazy to think about now. But they were like, I'll never buy one of those things. What do you mean it doesn't have a keyboard? And I remember keyboards were everything back then. Right. And I remember my sister had one. She's always ahead of the curve on everything. And so she had this, it was called a Sprint Mogul. It was called a Mogul. And this phone literally came with a manual. I mean, it literally came with a manual. I kid you not. It was about that thick. And I remember seeing this thing and reading the manual, and I'm like, I don't want this. Yeah. Because this is too much. Yeah. Like, if I got to go through all this for a smartphone, I'm going to just stick with my Nextel chirp. Right. Okay? Right. But I remember when I saw the iPhone, and I was like so excited about this. I was like, man, this is awesome. Everything in one. Yeah. And you fast forward to 2019 where we are today, and all of our phones mirror that design. And I couldn't pay you right now. I couldn't pay you to have a keyboard on your phone right now. Right. But that's what the world class is constant. Nah, right, yeah. I had the sidekick. Yeah. I had the sidekick. I remember that. Yeah, the BlackBerry, yeah. But I couldn't pay anybody watching this video right now to have a keyboard on their phone. You know, but that's what the world class do. They take the complex and they make it simple. That's what Steve Jobs did. He looked at the smartphones with 800 buttons and he said, no, we're going to trim this down. My phone will have 5 buttons, and that is it. Yeah. You know, and you guys have seen the results from that, but you have to change, you know, your thoughts about money, and that's just one of the thoughts, you know. And another thing I'll point out too is that the way you feel about money right now, I can almost guarantee you that this was something that was given to you. It was a thought that was given to you by somebody else, you know. And I remember my mentor giving me this example. It's always stuck with me. But he said, Mike, you have to choose your own thoughts. You have to choose that. You have to dictate the way you feel about things, you know. And he asked me, he said, Mike, you know, would you allow me to come into your home right now and dump a whole bunch of garbage in the middle of your living room? Just literally take a trash can full of garbage and dump it in the middle of your living room. And I was like, no, absolutely not. No way. And he said, well, I find it funny that right now in your life, you're taking better care of your carpet than you are your mind. Because when it comes to the results in your life, a lot of these things have come from thoughts that you've allowed other people to dump on you, that you've just subconsciously adopt it, you know? And so you have to take hold of that. You have to take power of these things and change the way that you feel about money if you want more money in your life.
Yeah, 100%. Well, just like you mentioned earlier, it's about awareness, right?
Yes.
Knowing how you truly feel about money right now. And again, the biggest indicator are simply the results in your life. Really, money is a feeling at the end of the day. So however you feel about something, you'll either attract it into your life or you'll push it farther away. So many people are saying, man, I really want money. Well, first of all, you have to have the right reasons behind wanting the money. Now, understand what I'm saying here, because I was just like you. Hey, I wanted the money to have a bigger house, to have a bigger car, to be able to have more freedom with my family. I had so many good reasons to create the money, but understand at the same time, I had so many other reasons going on inside that were deflecting those opportunities, that were deflecting the money away from me, which came from what you were talking about in conditioning. Not even the thoughts that I created myself, from things that I heard my parents say, from things that I heard the media say, from things that I heard my teachers say, right? There was a scripture in the Bible that says, I think it's harder for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven than it is for a camel to enter into the eye of a needle. Mm-hmm. I mean, can you imagine hearing something like that as a kid? I'm like, a camel in the eye of a needle? Like, I don't even know what that means, but I know the eye of a needle, right? It's totally incorrect interpretation, but the point of the matter is how you feel about money is going to determine how you view this opportunity. Does that make sense? So whatever it is going on in your life right now, at the end of the day, I think the key point of all this is, what is your worth, right? Because you're going to have certain habits in your life. You're going to take certain actions towards entertainment, towards thoughts, towards your feelings about money, about the people that are around you, based on how you view yourself, by your self-worth. And by getting around the right type of people, by getting around the right type of information, it can begin to curb that appetite towards the things that you truly want, the things that are going to give you true fulfillment. At the end of the day, hey, I'm 34 years young right now. Mike, 31, I believe?
32.
32 years young. Guys, I'm not sure how young you are watching this video or how mature you are, but at the end of the day, we all want something that everybody else wants in this world, which is fulfillment. We all want some type of significance. We all want to make our mark on this earth. And the reason why we created TDT Financial was to really give every person, I don't care your race, your background, your creed, your color, your preference, whatever the case may be, the same opportunity to create wealth. Why? To be able to live your life like no one else, but at the same time, leave your mark on this earth. So with that said, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Nope.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So again, get with the person that gave you the information for the website. Of course, navigate through the site. Go ahead and check out the opportunity video. I'm sure there's going to be some additional information that we'll be releasing really soon. Stay close to our social media pages as well. TDT Financial. Also check out Michael J. Benoit, not Benoit. It is Benoit with the French accent. And of course, Damon P. Dillard on Instagram and Facebook as well. Guys, we're extremely excited about your future. And as always, we'll see you at the top, not from the top, because you deserve it.
Wait. Do you want to reshoot the ending? Because my Instagram is Mike J. Benoit.
I said that.
You said Michael. Whatever.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you did. It's all good, though. I don't care.
I haven't put it, yeah.
Do you feel like you want to reshoot the ending, or you feel good about it? I don't really care.
You don't care?
No, okay.
Okay, good, yeah.
We good?
Yeah, I think that's good. So
it'll probably